In the words of Warren Buffett, "Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked." A profound statement that fits perfectly when we cast our minds back to the period of 2007 to 2008. It was a time that witnessed a severe worldwide economic crisis, now known as the global financial crisis. The crisis was not a random act of fate, but a result of a series of calculated actions and inactions. Predatory lending and excessive risk-taking by financial institutions set the stage for this financial debacle. The world watched in disbelief as the United States housing bubble burst, leading to the collapse of mortgage-backed securities. This was not just an American crisis, it was a global phenomenon, shaking the very foundations of the world's economy. The crisis led to an international banking crisis, causing ripples of uncertainty and fear across the globe. But what exactly sparked this economic catastrophe? Let's delve deeper. Like a row of dominoes, one wrong move led to a series of unfortunate events. The 2007 to 2008 financial crisis, a whirlpool of chaos and uncertainty, wasn't born out of a single mishap. It was a cascade, a domino effect of decisions and actions that spiraled out of control. Let's trace back to the beginning. It all started with the repeal of certain legislations. These rules were designed to protect us, to keep the financial market in check. But they were cast aside, opening the door for risky business practices. This was the first domino to fall, setting the stage for what was to come. Next came the rise of predatory financial products. These were schemes, cloaked in the promise of high returns, that targeted the unsuspecting public. They were like wolves in sheep's clothing, preying on the vulnerability of those who dared to dream of financial stability, of owning a home. This was the second domino, and its fall was felt far and wide. Then, there was the failure of regulators to address these issues. Those who were supposed to safeguard the system turned a blind eye, letting the dominoes continue to topple. This lack of oversight allowed the risky practices to grow, unchecked and unchallenged. The result? An international banking crisis. Banks began to crumble under the weight of bad loans and financial mismanagement. The housing bubble burst and the value of mortgage-backed securities plummeted. The dominoes were falling faster and faster, leading us into the abyss of the Great Recession. The world was hit by a wave of unemployment, a decline in trust, and a surge in financial instability. The crisis also sparked the European debt crisis and the Icelandic financial crisis. The dominoes were not just falling, they were crashing, each one causing more damage than the last. So, was it just a case of poor judgment, or was there more to it? This question lingers in the air, a reminder of the catastrophic consequences when the dominoes of the financial world start to fall. In the wake of the crisis, the world was left to pick up the pieces. The aftermath of the 2007 to 2008 financial crisis was like a chilling winter breeze, sending shivers down the spine of global economies. The very fabric of trust that institutions had woven over decades was left in tatters. Unemployment skyrocketed as businesses collapsed, and the collective wealth of households took a nosedive, like a falcon hurtling down to its prey. Yet amidst this bleak landscape, there was an urgency to act, to prevent a total collapse of the global financial system. Governments and central banks around the world sprang into action. They began to pump trillions of dollars into the economy, a financial lifeline thrown to drowning businesses and households. These were the controversial bailouts and stimulus packages, measures that were as debated as they were necessary. The bailouts were like a double-edged sword. On one hand, they prevented the immediate collapse of the economy, saving countless jobs and businesses. On the other hand, they were seen as rewarding the very institutions that had taken excessive risks and caused the crisis in the first place. A dilemma indeed. At the same time, the stimulus packages were like a defibrillator, shocking the economy back to life. They increased spending, encouraging businesses to start producing and hiring again. But like the bailouts, these measures were not without controversy. Critics argued that they were simply kicking the can down the road, delaying the inevitable reckoning. As the dust settled, the world was left contemplating. Could this have been prevented? And more importantly, could it happen again?